Okay, hey guys, I'm here with.
Bobbi.
And what did you do this past weekend?
I won the Seattle Regional.
Okay, and what with?
Mitsurugi Ryzeal, the best deck in the room.
Best deck in the room? Okay, let's get into it.
Alright, let's start with engine. So, Ryzeal engine. Pretty standard. 2X, best starter. 2 sword. 2 ice, 1 node, and then 1 star. Initially I wasn't playing Star Ryzeal, but the more I tested with it, the more I played with it, you have to play this card. It makes a lot of your combo lines insulated from roll. It also makes a lot of your combo lines very hard to nip. So for sure play this card.
Perfect. Did you ever think about playing 2 or just the 1?
1 is enough. It doesn't do anything by itself, but having the extra names in front is good.
Okay, perfect.
And then the 1 Ryzeal Cross and the 1 Bonfire. Notably, I did not play 7th Tachyon. It's really funny. I am known for calling that card bulk because I don't like neg-1ing on my search. It also plays very hard control. You can definitely play the deck with Tachyon. What I cut Tachyon for was the second Aramasa, the Pot of Prosperity that people don't really play anymore, and second copy of Mitsurugi Ritual. And I found the deck was still pretty consistent and found myself bricking. You do see your Ryzeal names more, but I felt like it was a little bit better in control.
Okay, perfect.
And then the other half of the deck is Mitsurugi engine. So for the level 4s, 2 Aramasa. You don't have to play 2, but it is a 1-card starter, and I don't play 7th Tachyon. So you can definitely cut this down to 1 if you're playing 7th Tachyon. The 1 Saji, 1 Kusanagi. They're not good to draw, especially Kusanagi, but they're engine requirements. 3 of the best card for the Mitsurugi engine, Habakiri. This card's amazing. I played this deck before the new support. Habakiri fixes the deck's problem so hard, because you can just full combo by resolving 1 imps now, and this card helps you get to extra level 4s if you need to get into rank 4 or Ryzeal play. This card is crazy. And then the only other ritual is 1 Ame. You don't need more than 1 Ame. I keep seeing people play Futsu. Please don't play that card. That card's really bad. You don't need more than 1 Ame because you can brick on multiple Ames. I played 2 Ritual, but that's because Ritual is one of the best extenders. Ame does not help you extend by itself.
Perfect.
And then for the spells, 3 Prayers. It's your worst starter, but it's the best extender in the deck, and Heart Opening the speeds roll, so you have to max out on this. And 2 Ritual. You can cut Ritual down to 1. If you're playing 7th Tachyon, I probably would cut this down to 1 along with the Aramasa. But this is one of the best cards to hard open with any other playable card, because it's really hard to interact with this. There's also one game where my first ritual got impulse, and then I looped my Fairlands, search Ame, and activate ritual again. The guy had to read ritual. He was pretty sick that I actually got to ritual signature impulse. And then the 1 trap. I don't think people main this. You can definitely side it. I would have this somewhere in the list. But how I do my combo, I always end on quick play and trap, and quick play, trap, and Ame is really hard to break, so I like playing the trap. But if you try out the deck and you feel like you're breaking on too much, you can definitely slide the trap and stuff, but it definitely can be something.
Yeah.
And then for non-engine, playing 3 Ash. Ash is not that great right now, but everyone's on Charmy, so you kind of need this Ash just to respect Charmies. And it's still okay. 3 Imperm, 3 Fua, and 3 Perulia. The reason I went for 6 Charmies is going first. This deck is really good, but you need a lot of extra help going second. I also these cards are one of the most reliable ways to beat Malice going second if you lose the coin flip, because Malice is really hard to stop with conventional hand traps. If you open a Charmy, then and you can usually get them to stop on a half board, and this deck can definitely break through a half board, you just can't beat the full board. That's true. And then 2 Droll and 2 Nib. So I would play a 3rd Droll, but the math just didn't work out. The main deck is 44 cards, and I felt like it was a nice number. And I like my ratio of engine or non-engine, but you could definitely play a 3rd Droll if you want to like cool down on Perulio or something. Nib, I would keep at 2. Nib is a nice card to have because I have so many Charmies. If they decide to full combo, you need something extra to stop them, and Nib is really good to have going first. Nib is just kind of inconsistent going second, so I didn't want to have too many copies of Nib in my deck. But I definitely wanted some, so 2 felt like a good number for me.
Yeah, it also definitely synergizes with being able to tribute your stuff and then bring it back.
Yeah. Setting up your board and then tributing it off and then getting a bunch of advantage is really nice. Nib also comes up for a combo that I do, but I'll get more into that into the extra. And then the one of power spells. It kind of feels like 2014 format where you had all the traps at one. I just play one of all the traps. Pros, called by, cross out, talents. Cards are all broken. There are one for a reason. The reason people cut Prosperity in the YCS topping Mitsu list or some of the other regional topping lists, and the reason why Prosperity is less prevalent now is your Ryzeal names are at 2. So you really actually want to resolve cross, not just to draw, but to recycle your names. But because I'm not playing 7th Tachyon, I have to play the pros for the extra consistency.
Fair. Do you ever feel like over the weekend that you wish you had Tachyon, or is it's just for the bulk?
It's a bulk card. I'm just gonna say that now. I do think if you do play Tachyon, you should play the Divine Shadow Dragon Dracuxion to bridge the engine, and you should probably play the Ouroboros combo. But for the list that I have right now, I think it would be incorrect to play Tachyon.
Perfect.
And then let's go to extra deck. So Detonator, I would play more, but it's at 1. And 2 dual drive. You do have to play 2 in case one gets stops. Sometimes you want to send a dual drive off of X, so you cannot cut the second one. Feral Imps bridges the engine. Exciton Knight, just you needed to clean up weird game states. This doesn't resolve that often, but you can also use this to bait. Dugaris is crazy. You make this a lot on turn 1. You can make this to revive Lancia versus Malice. Tornado Dragon, sometimes you need to proactively force back row. Bagusa's Contingency, you need it in some hands where you get drolled and you can't really play through the droll. Asophiel is in the flex spot. It's my personal tech choice. Every time I show people my deck list, they question me on this. Like, why do you have an Exosister XYZ in your deck list?
I was about to ask, what do you do in this play? What is the reason for this?
This is just a utility card. You can detach 1 material. The rest of the text doesn't matter. You can detach 1 material, target a monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Everything else in this deck destroys. Murakumo destroys, Detonator destroys. So it's really nice to have 1 card in your extra deck that can clear a monster that does not destroy.
Okay.
And the question is, okay, why don't you play Castell? Well, okay, A, if you're going to remove back row, you're going to make Tornado Dragon anyways. Yeah, that's just better. And B, this only detaches 1 material. So this comes up if you have a Star Ryzeal and you have Castell. If you need to spin with Castell, you can't special your Star Ryzeal. And you can revive this off of Twins of the Eclipse and then you use the effect later if it comes down to that. So this is just better than Castell in my opinion.
It's destroyed by Detonator Revive.
That is true. I did have that come up, but that is a fair interaction. Gallon Granite. You just use this to search, grab a Nibiru if you full combo. Sometimes you get Charmied and you want to end on a half board, but you have 2 4s left over. You can just Granite grab a Nib, and usually you'll end on Prayers plus Nib. So they know you have a Nib. But it's really hard to play around the Nib when you also have a Raigeki. So this has a lot of utility.
Sick.
And for X targets, 2 twins, and an aggregator. Second twins comes up sometimes for the grind game, sometimes for certain combos. But you can definitely get away with 1 twin. Aggregator is mandatory.
Yeah.
And then Typhon, having this in the extra deck just comes up. You can't really, lab or test for Typhon. It just comes up, and when it comes up, it wins you the game. And then 1 Lizard. You have Nib in the main deck. Sometimes you need to link off the Nib to make your Ryzeal live. A lot of the main deck is also just Reptile, so you'll draw a card off this fairly often.
Sick.
And then side deck. Third roll. This is for the mirror match. And basically every other matchup in the game other than Malice. I just didn't like having 3 in the main because of space and because I want to respect Malice a little bit more.
Perfect.
3 Lancia, you need this for Malice, and 2 Chaos Hunter, you need this for Malice. I like this more than Meowless because even though you do lose a card, this is more annoying to deal with, and if they do try to out it, they have to waste a lot of cards. 3 Trust. This card's really good right now because this format revolves around Charmies and Droll. And this is one of the best cards to have if you get Charmy or Droll going first. And this card is really good going second into half board. If you assume you're Charmy or Droll and you pair that with a Breaker, you can break a lot of boards. So I think this card's really good right now. And then Duster and Lightning Storm. Initially, I only had the Duster, but I added in the Lightning Storms because what I found is a lot of people do not respect back row removal right now. So it gets really good to hard open these cards, and it's nice to have actual breakers when you have Charmy, when you have like so many Charmies in the deck, because if they do commit to their board, you want stuff to draw into that are not just more hand traps. You want stuff that can tangibly force out interaction or help you break the board. So I like the 2 Storm paired with the Duster, but they also do come up as Trust targets. And then going first, we have the three traps for Trust: Sanctum for Malice, D-Barrier for the mirror match, and Blue Eyes, White Forest, all the other rogue matchups, and Black Goat.
Okay.
I think Black Goat is really good right now because I needed 1 extra card to side in going first when I did sideboard patterns, but Black Goat is just really flexible right now. Black Goat is also really good because against Malice, they banish a name, you just call the name. Against the mirror match, they go Ritual, you can just call Murakumo, and the Ritual is not getting them anywhere. It gives them card advantage, sure, but that card advantage is not converting into anything. And against Ryzeal, you can actually just call X Ryzeal blind sometimes, and then it's really hard for them to win. So this card's really good.
Sick.
This card's underrated right now.
Sick. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Again, congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you again sometime soon.
Oh, hopefully.
Okay. Sick.